Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to draft a notice to quit. If you're a landlord, you're a landlady, you're watching this video, or you're a lawyer, please stay tuned and watch this video till the end. Please try to share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, and if you have any comments, please drop it in the comment section or you send it via my email address. Please watch the sponsor ads on this video. I am pleading. Okay, so let's dive into it. By the way, I am a practicing lawyer in Nigeria, so I'm sharing this from my experience as a lawyer in Nigeria. Please note that this is not a legal advice. Anything I'll be sharing in this video is not a legal advice, but it is just for your educational purposes. Okay, so let's dive into it. Notice to quit. I have a video already on my YouTube channel as to the necessary notices you need to serve on your tenants based on the agreement between you and your tenant or the type of tenancy. But today I'm not diving into that. I just want to share how to draft a notice to quit and the necessary elements you need to put so that you can have a valid notice. Please note, if you're a landlord or a landlady or a lawyer watching this video, as a landlord, a landlady, you can draft a notice to quit by yourself. However, it will be more efficient if you engage the service of a lawyer, because as a landlord or a landlady, you're not a lawyer, you don't really know, you might not know the duration you need to put in a tenancy in the notice to quit. Okay, so but a lawyer will be able to pick up your tenancy agreement, understand it, peruse it, understand it, and use that in drafting your notice to quit. So before I share my screen on how to draft a notice to quit, there are about 6 or 7 things you need to know. Okay, so the number one thing is, on your notice to quit in your draft, you must have the name. If you're a lawyer, you're drafting a notice to quit, you must have the name of the landlord in your notice for it to be effective. On whose demand are you serving or drafting that notice? So the landlord, you as a lawyer, your name will be there. I will soon share the draft, but I just need to explain this so that you will so that you understand this. So you need to have the name of you as the lawyer or the solicitor in the draft. If you're a landlord, your name must be there. And as well as the lawyer, the name of the landlord or the landlady, you need to put that in the notice. Okay, so that is 2. It is important for you to date every document, so that notice needs to carry a date. I mean, the date you're drafting it or any date you want to put on it, but basically it must have a date, maybe the date you're drafting it or the day you want to serve it on the tenant, so it has to be dated. I just experienced a power outage, so this is why I'll complete what I was saying in this video. And I wanted to use the most appropriate way to share my screen, but for some reasons I've not been able to achieve that, and I don't want to delay this video further, so let's just dive into it. So for your notice to quit, as you can see on the screen, the first important thing is the dates, like I mentioned earlier. So let's assume that today is the 31st day of August 2024. So this particular date, this date doesn't really matter. It's just the date you're drafting your documents. Okay, so you can as well make it, for example, I commenced this draft on the 31st August 2024. It is possible, but I just leave it in my laptop for another 2 weeks and they're still having this date. It doesn't really matter. However, you can change it to the day when you want to serve the person. Okay, the important thing is it must have a date. So then to this other side, so if you're drafting as a landlord, it's important for you to have your address here just beneath this date. Just type your name as the landlord, have it there, and your address. However, if you're a landlord that you have a company and for example, you're a landlord and you have the name of this company, ABC Limited, and your properties are under the ABC Limited, so you can just probably have a letterhead paper, so you can make use of your letterhead paper. So as a lawyer, we go this route. We don't put the name here because we print on our letterhead paper. So I hope that is clear. So, but if you're not using a letterhead paper, it means that you need to have your name beneath that date. Put your name, your address if you are a landlord. But as a lawyer, lawyers definitely will use a letterhead paper and print this on. And on our letterhead paper, we already have our law firm's name, and the address. So then the date, I've mentioned the date. So this other side is the details of the land of the tenant. So this draft I'm using, I deleted the name of the tenant because there is confidentiality in our profession, so I had to do that. So let's assume that the name of the tenant is XYZ. So that's Mr. XYZ of plots 468 Lincoln Arab Extension, Abuja, FCT. So this is just the address that I used there is, I don't think there's any place like that in Abuja. I just had to use that. Like I said, I can't disclose the name of a person or the address of any of my clients or my client's tenant. So going forward, okay, there is something missing. You can put there, sir or madam, it all depends. So then notice to quit. Then I, Mary Damilola, I, Mary Odedele Esquire. So this is my name. So if you're a lawyer drafting this, your name has to be here. Then I introduce the landlord. This is very, very important. As solicitor to your landlord, Mr. ABC. So that is the name of the landlord now. Just a name I just pick up, not for my clients. So, and on his behalf, give you notice to quit and deliver up possession of the self-contained apartment. So if it's a 3-bedroom apartment, you put it here that it's a 3-bedroom. You put it here that it's a 3-bedroom apartment. If it's self-con, whatever the apartment is, just put it here. Then comma, to deliver up possession of the self-contained apartment with the appurtenances situated and located at the address again, which you hold of him as a yearly tenant. So you just have to put in all this information as it's applicable to you. If it's a self-con, write it. The address, you put it there. Then if that person is a yearly tenant, you put it there. Yearly tenant simply means that he pays per annum, yearly. Probably the sum of, let's say, ₦1,000,000 every year. If it's every 6 months, you just take this yearly off and put every 6 months, or 6 months, is it a month? You put that there as well. So the next paragraph, so which means you are permitted to use this draft. If you want to use this, you can always type this. You can use this, you can pause it and type it on and use it for your personal. You can, yes, you can make use of it. So the next paragraph is, you are hereby given a 6-month notice to deliver possession of the said property on or before the 2nd day of February 2025. So yeah, you need to know, you can't just pick up a period of time that you want to give the person and just say, no, I want to give him 1 month notice, I want to give him 2-month notice. It must be according to the tenancy agreement. And if there is no tenancy agreement, it must be in accordance to the law. So what the law says is that, I think I have that on my YouTube channel already, for every yearly tenancy, when there is no tenancy agreement, it means that you have to give that person a 6-month notice. 6 months. So it means that if your tenants still have about 8 months before the current rent will expire, you must make sure before that 8 months expire, there must be a life of 6 months. You must give that notice to the person. You know, this is just the law, and I've mentioned in one of my videos that this law is in place to avoid a situation whereby the landlord will want to, can I use the word, victimize the tenant. I know it's not easy for you to say, okay, landlord will just tell a tenant, like, I want you to leave my apartment tomorrow. It may not be that easy for the tenants to get a house immediately. What if he doesn't even have the money? So that is why the law mandates it, that this is what a landlord can do. Although it is not the law that built a house for the landlord, but just to protect the society, so that you won't just wake up and the next day a tenant is not a vagabond, like, because he doesn't know a thing like that will happen to him. So that is why there is a periodical, like a notice. Even at the expiration of this notice to quit we're talking about, there is another notice, which is the 7 days of owner's intention to recover possession. I'll also come up with a draft on that as well, that you need to serve on the tenant before you can do anything. And the anything I'm talking about is to proceed to court, not for you to resort to self-help. So let's just proceed. So like I said, if in your tenancy agreement you have 4 months notice, then you put 4 months notice. But if there's nothing like that in your tenancy agreement, it has to be 6 months notice. And make sure that you are giving the 6 months notice during the life of the present tenancy, not a situation whereby the person's tenancy it's ending in 1 month and you're just bringing up the notice. It will be better for you to wait to when that 1 month is off, and then there is another notice you can give. Then it won't be a 6 month notice. Okay, so let's just proceed. So this notice becomes imperative as your landlord intends to renovate and restructure the said premises, making provision for modern facilities. So this is just trying to notify the tenant reason for this notice, the reason why the landlord wants him out of the apartment. So the next paragraph, furthermore, you're required to settle all your outstanding rents, electricity bills, rates, levies, and keep the apartment in a tenable condition before your departure. So this is just to remind the tenant that if he's owing maybe the NEPA, water bill, everything, he should make sure that he settle everything, since he's the one that used those things while he was there. So it won't be the next tenant or the landlord that will face such bills. Okay, so this next clause is now saying, like, just like a warning, take notice that in the event, sorry, this is a mistake, in the event, let me just quickly, in the event of your refusal to comply with the above demand, I'm sorry, I think while I was trying to make it up for the purpose of this draft, but I was in a hurry then. So take notice that in the event of your refusal to comply with the above demand, I have the instruction of my client to institute a suit in a court of competent jurisdiction to eject you forthwith. This is just like a warning that if you're not complying with this, because I am the landlord is saying I am the owner of my property, I have done what is required by the law to serve you notice. But if you're being troublesome, can I use that word, or being stubborn as a tenant, I wouldn't have any choice than to proceed to court to eject you. And oftentimes when a landlord takes this route of going to court after serving the required notices on the tenants, oftentimes the court will award something we call cost of litigation. That is, the tenant is the one at fault now. The tenant is the one making the landlord to pay or to use his money to do some things that are not so necessary of him to do. Can I use that word? Can I use that sentence? So if only the tenants comply with the notice, the landlord will not be paying those money. So in a situation whereby the tenancy agreement, the tenancy is just 500,000 naira, and a lawyer can charge as depending on the jurisdiction, the lawyer can say want to charge 300,000, and just imagine someone now losing out again a whole 300,000 naira from a tenancy. A tenancy. So that is why the courts may just maybe grant, let's say 100 or 150,000. So it all means that the tenant will have to pay this money, and with any other money that the court may award to the landlord. Okay, so, and this is the date again, but this is not so necessary since you have it up there. It is not so necessary. And then you have the name of the solicitor and the seal of the solicitor. So if you're a landlord, you're drafting this, it means that it will just carry your name and your signature. So a lawyer can use this draft, a landlord or a landlady can use this draft. What you just need to check is it puts the address of the property, the date, just check what is applicable to your own situation, to your current situation, the situation at hand, and fix it in the draft. So you can always pause the draft to type it out and make use of it. If you need a draft of this, you can send me your email. Email. I will forward this to you. I'll forward the draft to you, and you can just simply go through it and use it. Just use it. Okay, thank you so much. Like this video, share, and I will see you in another video.